First Order Stormtrooper Foam Helmet. Index. With this video guide and templates, you can build this First Order Stormtrooper with foam. Remember to validate with a ruler the printing scale, in case you want to print for an adult. Always print from Adobe Acrobat Reader, because other PDF programs do not print in the correct scale. Print this page first, and after validating the scale, print the rest. Use the first page of each piece as a guide on how to join the parts. In the Etsy publication, you can access the second image to be able to print at another scale. Remember, print only at 100% for adults, because the table is only for kids. If you want to scale the helmet to a child, you have to use this table. First you measure the contour of his head at the height of the forehead. And we write down the centimeters obtained, in this case 54 centimeters. Then, you look up the value in centimeters in the table, and use the resulting percentage value. We will use that percentage value in the Adobe Acrobat Reader, in custom scale. Select the correct printer, and select the correct paper, which you can use letter or A4. If you print for an adult, indicate the option actual size. If you print for a child, you have to indicate the percentage in custom scale. Head. The first part that we will build is the head. We will join the molds as shown in the guide. If you don't have a large foam sheet, you can cut the mold into 3 parts along this line. Although it is always better to use the complete mold to avoid cuts. For the front strip, we will use 8 mm foam thickness. Remember to draw the union lines. Also remember to draw the union lines inward. For this main head part, we will use 8 mm foam thickness. We will cut the pin, to know later where to glue it. We will invert the mold, to be able to draw the other pin on the foam. We will cut these lines, to be able to draw them on the foam. We will invert the mold again, to draw the line on the other side. Now, we will cut the innermost line, to also draw it on the foam. We will invert the mold again to draw the line on the other side. I forgot to draw this line on the foam. We will cut the sides of the strip straight. For the head, we will also cut straight all the sides. We will give a circular shape to the head. I will use a metal cup, but you can use any rounded item. When the sides come together, it's time to glue. Before starting to glue, we will find some way to apply the glue. You can use any container with a spout. We will use this wide paper tape to put on the sides. The important thing is to press on the inner side of the mouth of the can. We will put another on the other side, forming a V. We will press again on this side, to prevent the glue from entering the gutter for the lid. In this way, we dump the glue without problems in the container. Now we carefully remove the tape, and throw it away. We will always join using the union lines. Now we will give more circular shape in the areas where the guide indicates. It is important that we give to the head as much circular shape as possible. I forgot to draw this line on the phone, so I will draw it now, although the ideal is to draw it before. We will shape the edges to prepare them to glue with the sides part. We will cut this external line, and then glue it moved inwards. You can use this same line, or a new one, without a cut in the middle. We will draw a line of 2 or 3 millimeters to indicate where to leave space. We will put glue only in the area where we have not drawn. We will always join moving backwards, and keeping the same distance throughout the course. We will cut the excess following the edge. Now we will glue the front strip, but at the same head height. We will also draw the line, but only to leave a marked line. We will put glue only in the area where we have not drawn. We will put glue on the strip, on the side of the union lines. We will join both parts, keeping the same surface level. Also using the union lines. A space must be visible in the union. The top line that we will make a superficial cut, we will do at the end, to make all the cuts the same. Nose. We will cut the inner circles, to later draw them on the foam. For this part we will use 5 mm foam thickness. Always remember to indicate the union lines. We will cut the internal areas, to be able to draw everything on the foam. We will invert the mold to draw the other side. Remember to indicate the union and central lines. Also indicate them inwards. To make the circles in this area, you can use this guide. You can make the holes with a cylinder. Another way is with soldering iron, burning the foam. We will turn the tip of the welder to make the holes. Now with paper tape, we will fix the mold to make later the holes, with the soldering iron. We will make the holes with the welder, holding the place firmly pressed. Once marked, we will remove the pattern. To better mark the hole, we will hit the foam again. Another way is printing 3D parts. Available to print 3D models, the circles, pins, tile in the central internal circular element of the left side. This is the link to download them. I printed it with flex filament, to make it flexible. We will indicate the contour of the mold, and then cut the tile of circles. We will complete the missing part by following the tile. We will cut all sides straight. We will glue the circular tile in place. Before adding the rest, we will fold in the center. We can put paper tape to force the bending. For this part, we will use 8 mm foam thickness. It is important to follow the cutting diagram, to correctly make diagonal cuts. We will cut the upper side with the cut down. The rest of the sides we will cut with the cut up. It is important that you use a sharp cutter, especially for cutting curves and diagonally. We will fold in the middle, to glue on the base later. If you need to bend more, you can give heat from behind. We will glue the nose center on the nose base. We will join first the ends carefully, then joining the bottom, using the previously indicated area to place it. Finally, we join the upper side, from the ends to the center. We will give the following shape, very similar to the classic Stormtrooper helmet. These are the parts printed from 3D models with flex filament. For these pieces, I will use 10 mm foam thickness, but you can use 8 mm instead. With the back of a marker, of the diameter of the largest circle, we will make the hole. The same with the other smaller circle. Remember to follow the cutting diagram, to correctly make diagonal cuts. We will cut all the sides with the cut facing up. We can improve the edges with scissors. We will glue these pieces over nose base, after joining the nose with the sides part. Sides. I will show you later how to make these elements. For the sides part we will use 8 mm foam thickness. Remember to draw the union lines. We will cut the internal lines, to be able to draw them on the foam. We will invert the mold, to be able to draw the same on the other side. We will indicate the union lines inwards. We will cut the area of the pin, to be able to indicate the place in the foam. The same for the other areas. Now we will invert the mold, to draw the other side. On this side, we will not draw the half circle, because it is only indicated on the left side of the helmet. We will add a little 5mm foam behind, to raise an area. We will leave this part with a diagonal cut, so that it does not rise suddenly. The same on the other side. Remember to follow the cutting diagram, for the diagonal cuts of the different parts. We will cut the rest of the sides straight. We will see that here it is thicker. We will cut the mold, to be able to indicate behind. We will draw all the contour from behind. We will cut diagonally, forming a V, at 2 mm away from the line that we indicated. We remove the excess. We will always be careful not to cut the front, trying not to exceed the middle of the phone. With the back of the marker, we will make the holes. We will glue moved up, or you can make the hole in another foam, and put it in place. We will do the same with the one below. Now, we will cut this trapezoid, to move it 2 or 3 mm back. I will glue it with the fresh glue and let it dry. The same on the other side. To make these holes, we will use the back of the marker, as before. Then we will cut at the union of both circles. Optionally, so that it is not so deep, you can put the same ones that we removed before. We will cut the rectangles. The same on the other side. We will cover from behind, with a piece of 2 or 3 mm foam thickness. We will cut. To glue it moved backwards 2 or 3 millimeters. We will draw the 2 millimeters, to be able to maintain the distance correctly. The same on the other side. We will fill the gap that we previously made with glue. We will fold and fix with paper tape to give it the shape. We will remove the paper tape. Joining nose with sides. First, we will join this half of the nose part. It is important that in this part, we put glue on the edge, not behind. After the curve, we will put glue on the back again. We will join half. We will use the union lines indicated. Now the other half. Here we will put glue on the edge. Remember to use the union lines indicated. We will always join the sides part, following the drawing that the nose has, and its union lines. We will finally glue these pieces in place. Joining nose and sides with head. We will indicate a line of 2 or 3 mm, to leave the union visible with a separation. The same on the other side. We'll put glue out of line. We will also put in the back of the end. We will also put glue on the side of the nose. We will join this half first. Always using the union lines, and keeping the same level on the surface. The same on the other side. We remove the paper tape. The idea is that the surface of the head is at the same level as the top of the nose. At this junction it tends to bend in this way, at an unwanted angle. To solve this, we will shape in this way, so that it continues on the same level. We have to make the union stay on the same line. Optionally, you can add foam in the joint from behind, to prevent it from bending. You can leave this part without gluing, and adjust the head later, to adjust the space between the nose and the head in the center. Because although we glue exactly in the indicated place, it can still generate a greater difference between the nose and head. That is why I recommend gluing this area at the end, to be able to adjust and avoid this inconvenience. The other alternative is to fix the nose with the head, with a foam strip behind. Bottom up. It is a very long part, so you will need a very long foam sheet. If you don't have, you can make cuts here. And on this side here. The length of the part is 88 centimeters, less than 1 meter. For this part we will use 8 millimeters foam thickness. Remember to indicate the union lines. We will cut the semicircle, to be able to draw it on the foam. We will draw the union lines inwards. Always follow the cutting diagram for diagonal cuts. In this case, only for this part, I recommend cutting diagonally, but not so diagonally. Instead of 45 degrees, about 60 degrees. Because in my case, I cut it too diagonally, especially the central part. The other side we will cut straight. We will leave a surplus at the ends, to later adjust if necessary. We will indicate the edge to leave separation, that we already made before, for other parts. Same for this part. We will put glue, only in the part where we have not drawn. We will join the center, keeping the surface level. From here, we will use the indicated line to join, leaving the 2 or 3 millimeters. We will always join using the union lines. Now we will continue with the other side. I will cut along the line because I don't need to adjust anything. Now we will join the ends. Bottom down. Always use the guide to know how to join the different parts, to obtain the mold. For this part, we will use 8 mm foam thickness. Remember to cut according to the cutting diagram. We will cut the entire outer contour with the cut facing down. We will cut the rest with a straight cut. You can use this leftover for some other part in the future. Remember to leave a surplus at the ends, to be able to adjust. We will put glue on all the edges. We'll join from the front to the back. Remember to always use the union lines. We will cut the end along the indicated line. Now we will continue on the other side. We will join the ends. Front left hole. We'll make the hole head on. You can use any cutting cylinder of the same diameter. I will cut with a cutter, always in front of the helmet. To improve the interior of the hole, I will add 1 or 2 mm foam thickness inside. I will make a base for the inner circular element. I will paint the element silver, because once put it is not easy to paint it. To give it shine, and make it look like metal, we will apply Liquitex. I put the internal element, but I will glue it after painting the helmet. If you have to make the inner circle with foam, you can cut a rectangle of foam. Sealing the foam. We will take the opportunity to give a more circular shape in the head. Gluing the pins. If you need to make the pins with foam, we will make the 4 rectangles that go in the head, and on the sides. We will use 1 or 2 mm foam. Now we will glue it on the sides. Cutting shallow lines. To do this, the ideal is to leave only a small 2 mm tip out of the cutter. We touch the base of the cutter, to obtain the entire shallow line of the same depth, by cutting on the line. The same in the front. We will give heat to emphasize the separation. Shaping. To shape the eyes, we will hold the center, between the nose and the head, together using paper tape. From here we will put another tape from side to side. So we will leave in position, also giving heat. We also push back at this height in this area, to make the side walls more parallel. Then we will give heat, in the area of separation at this height. And we keep pressing so that it stays. We remove the paper tape. We will see that the side of the eye was left with an inward inclined movement. Same on the other side, the edge of the eye is inclined inward. With this we also force the nose of the head to stay close. The rectangle goes up. You can leave 5 mm distance. You can also move this way to bring nose back. And so leave it further behind. You can sand the edges if you want to improve them.